welcome back to Washington Commanders Insider. Today we're talking about Austin Ekeler, talking about Jayden Daniels' growth heading into year two, and also the potential of the Washington Commanders being a real powerhouse for this upcoming NFL season. And so before we go ahead and we jump into it, I first want to remind you to hit that subscribe button, just like Jayden Daniels is going to be hitting Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Zach Ertz, and many others for multiple touchdowns this upcoming season. And so in exchange for hitting that subscribe button, I'm going to give you nothing but daily content around the Washington Commanders. And so make sure that you hit that like, you hit that subscribe, and you join the Washington Commanders Insider family as we talk nothing but Washington Commanders football. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump into it. We're talking about powerhouse potential and Jayden Daniels' growth heading into year two. And so we are going to be focusing on something that Austin Ekeler had to say on a recent interview here with SiriusXM NFL Radio. And it's just a 1:40 clip, but I feel like that he definitely brings some good insights out here as to the type of growth that Jayden Daniels is already showing heading into year two. And really, this type of growth could be huge as far as taking this offense to another level from last season. And then two, we're going to be talking about Austin Ekeler and what he feels this team needs to add in order to be a real powerhouse. And so if you guys want to listen to this, again, you can go over to X and you can see the tweet for yourself. And so within this tweet, it is going to be the 1:40 clip. And so you guys can listen to it for yourself. If you want to read about it, I think that this is a pretty solid article to read about it. It's a short read. It's on CBSSports.com. And it paraphrases the things that we are going to go over here. And so let's start with what he said here at the start of the interview about Jayden Daniels and playing with him, and also too Justin Herbert as well. And so he mentions it in a joking way, but he says that, look, he was a part of the team with Justin Herbert, who went on to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then he also talks about being on a team now with Jayden Daniels where he won the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And so kind of saying, hey, is it luck? Is it serendipity? Who knows? But I love that Austin Ekeler starts off by joking about that. But jumping down into business and what he's talking about from Jayden Daniels and really how he took it to another level. I think the first thing that he talks about here before we jump into the quotes is he talks about the expectations and how Jayden Daniels really exceeded expectations last year. And so not saying that he had a low expectation for Jayden Daniels, but he talks about how he knows how difficult it is to be a quarterback in the National Football League because you're coming in to a new city. You obviously have to learn the plays. You have to learn the personnel. And then also too, with the expectations of being a top pick. And so for Jayden Daniels to handle it the way that he did and really, just go out there and have an MVP type of season, he definitely exceeded the expectations, which is why we love Jayden Daniels and why we're looking forward here to year two. But then when he talks about year two and just really the growth and why he expects growth from Jayden Daniels, this is where, you just definitely get excited for this. And this is where I'm wondering how this offense is going to look here in year two with Cliff Kingsbury, Jayden Daniels, and all the pieces that he added here. And so here he is. And, he's talking about just now how things have changed as far as just going into the OTAs. Now you can see that he's beyond the rookie mistakes, learning the playbooks. He's getting the play calls out, getting past getting the play calls out slowly. He's getting people lined up. And on that line, he actually uses an example of Deebo Samuel saying like, hey, it's the wrong side, come over to this side, stuff like that. But he's now orchestrating out there. And so you could tell that that's where the growth is. And so I love this. I love the fact that, it sounds like that Jayden Daniels is comfortable orchestrating the offense, because you can definitely tell that this is a player that took a huge step from week one last year against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all the way down to this NFC Championship game against the Eagles. He was definitely a different type of quarterback when it came to the command of the offense. And you also could tell that the tempo of the offense changed as well. I think that as Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn really trusted Jayden Daniels out there and he showed what he could do, you could tell that the tempo picked up a bit more and they went from, huddling up to going with the no huddles and things like that. And so, with what Austin Ekeler just shared as far as him being able to orchestrate right now early on and just seeing that growth, I wonder what this is going to look like in the season now, because I'm starting to think about Peyton Manning when he would come and go up to the line. He would come back. He would get into a series of checks and things like that. And so that's just thinking about Peyton Manning when he just literally had that Colts offense humming. And so I wonder what this offense is going to look like now in year two, especially when you add a dimension to the offense in Deebo Samuel. You've certainly added, another piece in Jalen Lane. We clearly expect for Luke McCaffrey to take a step, and who knows what we're going to see from Ben Sinnott as well. And so the personnel, I think, has gotten better. And the fact that Jayden Daniels has gotten better, this is huge as far as just going out there and orchestrating the offense, because another thing that he talks about to go along with this point is just that he feels like things now, he's mentally processing things a lot faster. And so that is huge because now his processing speed has gone up, and that means the game around him has slowed down. And so I do expect that Jayden Daniels is going to take a serious leap now, because I think he just understands even more just what defenses are going to try to do to him to stop this offense. And so I love the fact that you add a Laramie Tunsil out there, which will help protect him and buy him just a little bit more time. And he's already processing faster than he did a year before. So I think that is going to lead to some growth with this offense. And then also too with Josh Connolly Jr., let's see what happens if he's able to go ahead and outright secure a position as a starter, but we'll see what happens. But the offensive line was solid in general. And so you don't necessarily need to give Jayden Daniels that much more time. And so that is another added bonus here. The fact that Austin Ekeler feels like that his processing speed has picked up here. And so lastly, the last thing that you could see here in the last key nugget is just Austin Ekeler really feeling like this team could really be a powerhouse, and just talking about now that he is mentally faster and makes better decisions. I think there's going to be even more growth this year, which is awesome, because where we're at with our team, we got a lot of players back, still have a lot of playmakers, got to get Terry McLaurin paid. I love that he says that. And then, man, we're going to be able to look like a powerhouse out there. And so I love the fact that he mentions Terry McLaurin, because I think that Terry McLaurin is huge. And I've been talking about this before, that, with Terry McLaurin, he really is going to make the Deebo Samuel addition just that much more beneficial, right, to this offense. I think that with Terry McLaurin and what he's able to do, the type of attention that he is going to command from defenses out there, it's going to open it up for Deebo Samuel. And I think that just when you get him out there, you get him now working with Deebo Samuel. I know that they've done some OTA stuff, but once the pads get on, you want to make sure that you get the contract taken care of, because you want these guys to get on the same page as quickly as possible, because this year we know that this team is going to take everybody's best shot. And going back to Austin Ekeler, look, I think that Austin Ekeler really, he could be a huge beneficiary to this offense, and the fact that Jayden Daniels is able to orchestrate a lot more on the fly, because I think now with Austin Ekeler out there, he's going to be able to really present some mismatches to these linebackers and things like that, because I know, yes, he's going into his 9th season, but he still has the ability to really put pressure on a linebacker. And also, too, I think he can still make some plays in the open field as well. And I think that this is a year, really, with all the weapons around him, that Austin Ekeler really could be a huge, huge benefit out of the backfield. And so we'll see what happens, because right now, out of all the running backs, I think that Austin Ekeler is the most polished receiver. And I think that he really could have a huge role out there with this offense that could be going up tempo. And I love the fact that if we're able now to go out there and establish a great identity running the football and really just bringing that physicality, you have the ability now to where you trust Jayden Daniels to speed up the tempo. He's going to make the right checks. He's going to get the ball to the right players. He knows the personnel. He understands where to put them. And I love the fact that he mentions like, hey, in the OTA or whatever the practice was, that he's telling Deebo Samuel, hey, wrong side or whatnot. I love the fact that as a year two quarterback, he's okay with telling somebody, hey, you're making a mistake here. You need to get to this side. And so I love that leadership early. So anyway, you guys let me know in the comments here what you guys are thinking about the Washington Commanders here in year two with this offense. Do you feel like that, yes, Jayden Daniels is set to really take a huge step now? And maybe he's going to be making a lot more of these calls at the line of scrimmage or whatnot. Is this going to be something where Cliff Kingsbury is going to give Jayden Daniels a little bit more of the keys to the offense to open it up? We'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys are thinking here about Austin Ekeler, talking about feeling like the team is a powerhouse. And if they get Terry McLaurin, it certainly would help this team moving forward. So I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And as we always say, look, go Commanders. And I will see you guys on the next one. All right, peace.